Welcome, my YouTube channel. Please subscribe. Nottingham Forest drop into Premier League relegation zone after 4-point deduction for PSR breach. Nottingham Forest docked 4 points for breaching Premier League financial rules. Forest dropped to 18th in the top flight, 1 point behind 17th placed Luton. Forest have 7 days to appeal, but Sky Sports News understands club are consulting with lawyers over whether to do so. Nottingham Forest say they are extremely disappointed and dismayed at being handed a 4-point deduction for breaching the Premier League's profitability and sustainability rules, PSR. The deduction drops Forest into the relegation zone in 18th position, 1 point behind Luton, who move up to 17th, with 9 games to play. The Premier League said Forest admitted breaching PSR by 34.5 or above their permitted threshold of 61 months. Clubs are usually allowed maximum losses of 100 months over a 3-year assessment period, but this is reduced by 22 hours per season for any seasons within the period spent in the Championship. Forest are unhappy about the Premier League's submission to the Independent Commission, which imposed the sanction, and claim trust in the governing body has now been eroded after it pushed for a 6-point sanction, as pictured below, with 8 points as an initial figure. A Forest statement read, "Nottingham Forest is extremely disappointed with the decision of the Commission to impose a sanction on the club of 4 points, to be applied with immediate effect. Notwithstanding our disappointment, we thank the Commission for agreeing to deal with this matter on an expedited basis. The club considers it to be essential for the integrity of the league to have charges resolved in the season in which they are issued. After months of engagement with the Premier League and exceptional cooperation throughout, this was unexpected and has harmed the trust and confidence we had in the Premier League. That the Premier League sought a sanction of 8 points as a starting point was utterly disproportionate when compared to the 9 points that their own rules prescribe for insolvency. Forest have 7 days to appeal, but Sky Sports News understands. The club have yet to decide whether to do so and are consulting with their lawyers. Under the standard directions for dealing with PSR complaints, any appeal outcome must be known prior to June 1st, when promoted clubs receive their Premier League shares. The Commission, which imposed the sanction on Forest, praised the club for their exceptional cooperation in their dealings with the Premier League on this issue. The Commission noted Forest's breach was serious and stated in its conclusion, "The 4-point sanction is not to punish Forest so much as it is to be fair to the other clubs, to give the public confidence that when a club invests as Forest did to compete in the Premier League, it still needs to comply with the PSR threshold for losses." The Commission ruling added, "When a club like Forest took the risk of effectively ignoring the PSR warning from its finance director before the January window in 2023, and rather than looking to sell players, it added players to its squad, ultimately leaving itself with just 2 weeks to sell player A, Brennan Johnson, in the summer 2023 window. Such risk-taking and sailing close to the wind needs a proportionate sanction to maintain the integrity of the Premier League." Everton were docked 10 points in November for breaching PSR in the period up to the 2021-22 season, which was reduced to 6 on appeal. A second complaint against the Toffees over a breach in the period up to last season is still being dealt with. The ruling shows the Premier League pushed for a 6-point sanction, with 8 points as an initial figure to account for Forest's excess over the threshold, being 77% greater than Everton's, but discounted by 2 points to reflect Forest's early plea and cooperation. Forest have 7 days to appeal, but will they? Forest have 7 days to decide whether they want to appeal or not. A lot of people will think it's a no-brainer. Everton got it reduced from 10 to 6 points, give it a go. What have you got to lose? A new 3-person panel will hear that appeal. But at an appeal, you can't introduce any new evidence. You can just argue your case again and hope for the best. Forest have already admitted they've broken the rules. From a football point of view, there may be people within Forest who may be saying this cloud has been hanging over us for a long, long time. Let's just take the 4 points. We know what we need to do to stay up. We've still got 9 games to play. We've got the squad to be able to stay in the Premier League. This has been too much of a distraction. It's a big decision they need to take, whether to appeal or not. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like.